Got Juan Williams on the phone, and we're going to go to Juan in a second. Juan often found himself on the opposite end of the opinion scale from Charles Krauthammer. But first of all, another memory from Charles on Special Report.
And being a good, well-trained KGB agent, he lies with a smile. I love the fact that this week he's been saying that it could have been Russian patriots who were artists act on their own and were the ones who might have hacked. But of course the state is innocent. Nothing like that happens without the state in Russia. He knows it, we know it, but he's a very good liar.
Juan Williams is with us now from New York. And Juan, you often found yourself in a dangerous place, and that was on the other side of the opinion fence from Charles.
That's exactly right. So I had the privilege of being on Special Report, kind of opposite Charles Krauthammer, I guess for more than a decade, John. And I got to tell you, talk about going to school. That was a great, great American intellect. He's been described as the leading conservative thinker and writer of his generation, and I don't think there's any argument. That's Charles Krauthammer. So you put him in league with people like William F. Buckley of their time. You can come forward, and I don't think there's much in between that kind of refined conservative thinker that really put his stamp on his time. I don't know if people are comfortable sometimes talking about religion, but Charles is Jewish. And I remember even doing Sukkot with him, where you go in a tent and you have a meal. And I remember going to an event at the Kennedy Center that he and his wife Robin put on that celebrated ancient Hebrew music. And I remember my wife saying to me, we wouldn't be here for anybody but Charles Krauthammer, because the music was, obviously it's not contemporary in any sense, but Charles wanted to keep that Jewish history alive. And so many people came out, so many were appreciative of his effort. It's similar to, we're coming up, John, on the 4th of July. So Charles would have me out with all of his colleagues and friends to his summer home on the Chesapeake Bay. But there was something very special about it. It wasn't just hot dogs and Cokes. Charles would have us read from the Declaration of Independence. So all of us would read a passage. And I got to tell you, nothing as emotional in terms of patriotism as being among people, oftentimes people of different political perspectives. Charles knew everybody. Remember, he was a speechwriter for Walter Mondale. He worked for the Carter administration. That's how he came to D.C. He had worked for the left-leaning New Republic magazine before writing for the Washington Post. And so this incredible group of people attracted to Charles as a fine intellect, but also as Robin's husband, Daniel's dad, someone who loved movies and loved the Nationals, the baseball team in D.C., but most of all, someone who loved America. And here he is. You're all participating. You might think, John, you might think, oh, gosh, Juan, you had to go through this. No, it was an absolute joy. It was like, hey, this is amazing. Here we are, like the Founding Fathers and mothers in this case, because everybody was reading, reciting the Declaration of Independence to each other in celebration of America. It was so glorious, John. What a wonderful man he was.
All right. Juan Williams for us in New York. Juan, thanks for being with us.